Good morning, students. Today we're going to start with the unit number 3, and the name of the unit is The Arts. Okay, today we're going to talk about different kinds of arts, painting, music, writing, etc. Okay, we're going to give a definition about what is art. Okay, what is art? And here I have a definition, and I underlined some part that I think is important. Art is an expression of our thoughts, emotions, intuitions, and desires. What else? We express our emotions through writing books, playing music or singing, painting, sculpture, photography, portraits, and also street art that is very common with young people. Okay, I'm going to talk about some people that were very famous in the past. Okay, writers, singers, musicians, and I'm going to start with Ernest Hemingway. He was a very famous writer. He was born July 21st, 1899, and he died on July 2nd, 1961. He was an American journalist, novelist, and a short story writer, and a sportsman too. He used to practice sport. He won a Nobel Prize and was one of the great American 20th century novelists. One of his most famous books, I'm going to recommend this book to you, was The Old Man and the Sea. This is a very good book. And I'm using here the expression, remember the expression, unit number 2. He used to write standing up. He used to write standing up, so he couldn't write sitting on a desk. He couldn't write sitting on a table. Okay? He was standing up, he was walking and writing. It's very strange, right? Okay, let's continue with the next person. And this is D.H. Lawrence. And who was he? He was born on September 11, 1885, and he died on March 2nd, 1930. He was a British writer. He was from England, author of novels, short stories, poems, plays, travel books, and letters. Okay, The Rainbow, 1915, was one of his most famous novels. Okay, he was a person who loved nature. He prefers to be outside, not in a house, outside writing, and he used to write under a tree. I'm using here the expression, remember, unit number 2, used to write under a tree. Okay, not in a chair, not in a desk. He used to write under a tree because he loved nature. Okay, and who is next? Her name was Jane Austen, and she was born December 16, 1775, and she died in 1816. We don't know the specific date of when she died. She was interested in writing, started early where she wrote short stories for her family. Okay, she liked to write short story for her family, especially for her brothers. Okay, and 4 of her novels were published anonymously by a lady. She used to write on a small table like this. Here's the table. She used to write on a small table in her family living room. Okay, all right. She she wasn't very famous. Okay, but she used to write, as I told you, short stories for her family. Okay, who's next? Graham Greene is another person. He was born October 4, 1904, and he died on April 3rd, 1991. He was an English novelist. He was from England, a short story writer, playwright, and journalist. Okay, journalist. Greene published several collections of short stories. And what happened with him? He used to write only in the morning. Look at this, only in the morning. He never wrote in the afternoon, and he never wrote in the evening. He used to write only in the morning. And what happened with him? He was writing in the morning, and he wrote 500 words, and he stopped. Okay, he stopped even in the middle of the sentence. Okay, why? Because he wanted to rest and to think what was going to write next. Okay, so he wrote only 500 words. Okay, for 1 hour maybe, and he stopped writing. He rests for a moment, and then he continued writing only in the morning. Okay, so this is special, right? Okay, let's continue with the next person. Aha. And I am sure that you know this person, J.K. Rowling. Do you know her? Have you seen the movie Harry Potter? Yes, of course. This is a very famous movie, okay? But this was a book first, okay? She went to Nicholson Cafe every day. Every day she used to go to this cafe and sat and brought some chapters of the book, okay? And she used to sit at the same table every day. Look at that. She sat at the same table every day, drinking coffee and writing in a notebook. Writing about what? About her book, Harry Potter. Okay? She had a baby, and the baby was sleeping in her stroller, okay? In a baby car. Okay? So while the baby was sleeping, she was writing and drinking coffee at the same table for many days. Okay? Every day she went to this cafe and she was writing on the book. Okay, very special, right? And very famous now too. Okay, okay, who's next? Uh-huh. And he is not a writer. Who is he? He's a composer. Yes, he's a very famous composer in the past. And he was born on December 16, 1770, and he died in March 26, 1827. And he was a German from Germany composer whose Symphony 5 is a beloved classic. Okay, but he was completely deaf. He couldn't listen. Okay, he couldn't listen anything. Okay, but how did he compose music? When he wrote the famous Ninth Symphony, he used to take the legs of his piano. Okay, he felt the vibrations. Okay, he felt the vibrations of the music through the floor. Okay, he couldn't listen, but he felt the vibration of the piano on the floor. That's how he wrote the famous Ninth Symphony. Okay, very special too, right? Okay, and let's go to the. I'm sure that you know them. Okay, a very famous group, and they are. Do you know them? Yes, the Beatles. They were very famous. Okay, and the information about the Beatles is the Beatles were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960 from England too, okay? And the members of the band were John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Four young people that were very, very famous. Their song was very famous too, okay? And they played in movies too, okay? So we have here more information about them. John Lennon, this person, and Paul McCartney, this one, were the leaders of the band, okay? And they used to write, I'm using here the expression used to again. They used to write songs together for the Beatles. How many songs did they write? They wrote 180 songs. Can you imagine? 180 songs. And all the songs were very, very famous. The most famous songs were Help, Hey Jude, and Let It Be. Okay, so this is the class about art. This is the first part of the unit talking about art, and this is all for today, and we are going to continue the next class. Thank you very much and see you then. Goodbye, my students.